Before we begin our next discussion, let me just give out a warning that this will be a discussion that may include details around loss, grief and violence. As the Israel-Hamas conflict continues, a Palestinian woman has shared how she lost 50 members of her family in the unrest. Ayar Jaber, who works for Gift of the Givers in Palestine, says the situation on the ground is terrifying. Jaber was born and raised in Gaza and has now witnessed 2 wars in her life. She recounted how her sister's house was bombed on the second day of the latest flare-up in violence there. She joins us now via our video link to take stock of the past couple of weeks, perhaps even years, as we also try to find a way forward. Ayar, it's great to have you on the program. Thank you so much indeed for making time to speak to us. And really, words fail when we try to really quantify the extent of the suffering that has been witnessed in the Middle East, especially over the past couple of weeks. I'm wondering whether I should even begin by asking how you're holding up and how those family members of yours who have survived the past couple of days are.
Thank you so much for having me. I think the question is very hard and very difficult to answer. I don't even know how I am. But we just try to be okay for now and be fine for our family. We try to push each other and strengthen each other. But my family, that side, is not okay at all. They've been displaced more than 17 times. And actually yesterday my sister was displaced after she already has been displaced so many times. She was already in Khan Yunis. She settled down after a whole lot of moving around. They were able to repurchase mattresses and blankets and things like that to actually sit and be okay with the winter right now. And then after the ceasefire, the south started getting bombed, and they told them that they had to evacuate again. They moved from Khan Yunis to another area in Khan Yunis, which wasn't helpful at all. They stayed a few days, and now they moved to a tent. So now they couldn't take anything with them. They had to walk, so they couldn't carry everything they needed. So they technically have nothing again, from having nothing to having nothing again. And it's very hard because you can't actually find stock, you can't buy anything, you can't, everything is already sold out, and there isn't any aid entering where it can be distributed around to people. So it's just like aid goes straight to schools and that, but there isn't mattresses or blankets that can actually help them during this winter.
Sure, yeah, and our condolences for the loss that you've suffered over the past couple of days. Have they been able to at least tell you how easy it is to get out of harm's way? Because part of what Israel, for instance, has said is that it's sending out warnings for people to evacuate places where they might be unsafe. But we're also hearing recollections from people in Gaza that there is no place where it's not unsafe.
Correct. Even the hospitals, which we thought were always safe in the wars, they never ever been bombed. They always bomb around them, and we always thought the hospitals are fine. The schools they always safe and they always fine. Now they getting bombed. There is no safe place in Gaza. Absolutely not. And we thinking now maybe where all the tents are. It's like an empty field where people just put up some tents and they started making a new refugee camp. So we thought these places are a bit of a safe place, but unfortunately it isn't. People have been killed around there. And there is no escape. There is no escape of death. Everyone thinks they're going to die. They are strong. They are holding up. But they're also tired. They're tired of seeing their own family members die. They're tired of seeing themselves die. They're tired of seeing their children, and they're tired of all of this. They don't have food. They don't have electricity. They don't have water. The most basics, they don't have any of that. And when you think, okay, maybe your space was a bit dangerous, your area is dangerous, maybe move to your parents' place. Then you get bombed at your parents' place, which you thought was safe. And at the moment, we reached a point where there is absolutely no safe space in Gaza.
Yeah. Gift of the Givers is among the international organizations, dare I say, that are known to be very quick on hand to respond to any crises in the world. And you're part of that organization. I wonder, during the time that you spent with them, whether you've seen the scale of calamity that we're currently witnessing along the Gaza Strip. Are you able to liken it to anything you've seen, at least in your line of work with Gift of the Givers?
So if you know the lifestyle in Gaza, you'd know from all these wars, it's always been really hard for people to function. People don't have jobs and people are always struggling. And Gift of the Givers was always doing a great job in helping people throughout. And the thing is, we thought that was hard. We thought that was like really heartbreaking to see what people were going through. But during this war, we found out that we've never seen anything like this before. People in Gaza have never experienced anything like this before. And like before, we would say a group of people were in need. Now we would say the whole city is in need. People that have money, people that don't have money, people that are from different levels, every single person is in need. Every single person has been affected, and every single person has either lost a family member or a whole family of theirs. So at the moment, it's a fight against a whole nation. It's not one person that you need to assist. It's a whole nation that you need to help. It's a whole nation that you need to rebuild for. And it's not, before we used to rebuild houses and renovate houses for people, but it just used to be people that have lost houses during previous wars and people that have been poor and all of that. But now you have to rebuild for every single person. Every single person has lost a house. So where are those people going back to? And they've never, ever experienced anything like this before.
Yeah, there are a number of things that are different this time around. And among those is the ubiquitous use of social media. There are a whole lot more people sending out images that I think the world has never seen before around what's taking place in Gaza. Is that helping, do you think?
100%. I think we're very grateful this time around for social media because we've seen the influence that it caused around the world. We've seen how people are more aware of what's happening in Gaza now. And I would say that we haven't seen that before. Personally, I live in South Africa and I haven't seen that during the other wars. And there's always support, but it's never been this way. People that haven't ever knew anything about Palestine are learning more about it now. They're learning about the history and they're telling you we need to learn and educate ourselves because what's happening now? We need to learn exactly what's going on and like where it started and where it's going so that we teach our children and we teach the next generations. A lot of people will tell you we've always been supporting the wrong side. We've always been on this side of the story, but now the pictures are telling us a whole different thing. We always thought this part is getting attacked, but apparently the pictures don't show that. Like right now, it's Palestinians that are getting attacked, and we've never known that. So social media is really helping with that. It helps with our work as a humanitarian organization because it shows it is like we are allowed to show you what we're doing on ground. We can show you what we're actually doing because other people might think, okay, no, it's a war, Gift of the Givers isn't able to actually reach. But our proof is our pictures, our videos, our live, everything. So social media has been a really great help right now.
Yeah, and of course it's a double-edged sword because what it also allows is for propaganda to spread a whole lot more rapidly and all kinds of claims to circulate even before they're verified, which complicates even our ability as the media to tell the story.
Correct. But I feel at the end of the day, you're still going to see the truth. Even if there is wrong information spreaded, you will find the normal information come out afterwards. The truth will come out afterwards. Even if you do have, like, let's say, a bomb that just fell onto a hospital and that was wrong, we are able to clarify. We are able to correct the wrong mistakes. We always have a way with that. But I think social media is right now it is in our side, but at the same time, if you go on Instagram or if you go on any of those platforms, you will see that they block our posts and they block a lot of our awareness posts and that. But we're still trying, we still try to push it through, but that's what we can do right now.
Yeah, absolutely. The United Nations has also come up with statements that I think are pretty unprecedented. The UN General Assembly, the UN General Assembly President, as well as the United Nations Secretary General, have been quite vocal about, at the very least, the need for a cessation of hostilities in order to spare more civilian lives. It's great, I think, in some respects that there is so much attention, even at a UN level, around what's going on. But as a person who's been so personally affected by what's taking place, I wonder if those kind of remarks mean anything for you, or if you're still desperate for a bit more to be done, given what's at stake?
I honestly, not only me, but the whole of my family and people that I speak to, my friends and my relatives and that, I think we've given up on all the people that just talk. We have been hearing the same story over and over again. We hear that, oh, we need the ceasefire to take place, we need the war to stop, but nobody has taken action. Nobody has actually helped the war to end. And I think Gaza is really tired of what they're going through, and they want an end to come to this war, but nothing is taking place. So I don't think words are really effective right now. We want a change. We want to live a normal life. I want to be able to go to my country easily. I want to visit and have an airport in Gaza. I want to be able to visit Al-Aqsa Mosque. But I am unable to do all of that because I'm from Gaza. And we need some sort of change that can change everything entirely, not just one thing, okay, a ceasefire for a few days or a ceasefire for a few years. No, that doesn't help because people still don't have jobs in Gaza. People don't, and I'm very sad to say this, but my cousin actually went to a UN school and she expected to get some food for her children. She doesn't live at the school, she lives at an empty field with a tent that they made with plastic wraps. And when she went to the UN school, they actually rejected giving her food and they told her to go back because they don't have food for her. And we know that all the aid is going to schools. And I would assume that they have extras for people that come and ask them, but apparently not. And we really are sad to say this, but a lot of people haven't eaten in days.
Sure. Really heartbreaking recollections there. Ayar Jaber, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. Appreciate your time on Newzroom Afrika this Wednesday morning. Ayar is a Palestinian, also a member of the Gift of the Givers, having at lost now 50 members of her family in the latest flare-up of violence in the Middle East. Once again, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us.